Since I got so much positive feedback after my first Flimsy Roller Coaster Records video, I thought why not continue the trend and discuss even more flimsy records. I mean, whenever there's a new roller coaster to build, a flimsy record is sure to follow. Again, just like my previous video, my disclaimer. Just because I'm picking apart these so-called records doesn't mean I hate the roller coaster. I really want to emphasize that point. I'm attacking the record, not the coaster. Okay, before we dive into today's video, just a simple reminder, go check out my Instagram and TikTok accounts if you haven't already. Alright, enough with the shameless plugs and on with the show. Zadra, located at Energylandia, opened in 2019, claiming to be the biggest wooden roller coaster. This record likes to bring up the highly debated topic, are hybrid roller coasters, the ones with steel track and wooden supports, considered steel or wooden roller coasters? I mean, technically this statement isn't wrong. Zadra is a giant wooden structure, so most of the ride is made up of wood, I think anyways. The tallest structure is actually steel, but everything else is wooden, the supports that is. So, for argument's sake, let's just say that Zadra is a wooden roller coaster. Well, how would you call it the biggest? Like, what are the parameters for this definition? Like, does it have to be the largest in both length and width? You know what I'm saying. It's a massive wooden structure, but so is Steel Vengeance. But since you don't define your parameters, I guess it can be whatever you want. Steel Curtain, located at Glenwood, opened in 2019. The record claimed is most inversions in North America. Now, technically, this isn't a flimsy record, but I felt it was important to bring up. Glenwood claims that Steel Curtain has a total of 9 inversions, a statement that I will get behind. However, the real dilemma starts when we make our way over to rcdb.com, which is Roller Coaster Database. I've discussed this topic in length in a past video, but let me just key phrase here. RCDB is claiming that the banana roll is 1 inversion, while the park and manufacturer, I believe, claim it to be 2. The reasoning behind RCDB's decision is that the past roller coasters that feature a banana roll count it as 1 inversion. However, where I disagree is that the banana roll on Steel Curtain is a little different than the ones found on Gerstlauer coasters, the originator of this element. Theirs looks to be 1 inversion, as the one in Steel Curtain looks closer to a Cobra roll, an element that's considered to be 2 inversions. Even if the claim were to be held, saying that Steel Curtain has 8 inversions, it's still a record-breaking attraction. In North America, the most inversions we've seen on a roller coaster prior to Steel Curtain is 7, and that record has stayed the same since the late 80s. DMNT Shellraiser, located at American Dream Mall Nickelodeon Universe, opened in 2019, claiming to have the steepest drop in the world. This Gerstlauer Eurofighter is a massive looping roller coaster that features 7 inversions, a launch, vertical lift, and beyond vertical drop. In fact, it's the steepest drop in the world, beating out the previous record holder, Takabisha, which is 99.9% near clone of TMNT Shellraiser, or actually it's the other way around, by a half degree. DMNT Shellraiser has a drop of 121.5 degrees, which knocks out Takabisha's that has a drop of 121 degrees. So yeah, it's technically the steepest, but not running away with it either. As far as I can tell, this is the first where a cloned attraction has been ever so modified to the slightest degree to beat out the original. Okay, wait, there's Six Flags, the king of outbeating their previous record holders by insignificant numbers. Defiance, located at Glenwood Caverns, scheduled to open this year, 2022, claiming to have the steepest freefall in the western United States and the highest elevation looping roller coaster in the United States. Being the highest elevation looping roller coaster doesn't sound too exciting, but again, why even advertise any of these records? Steepest freefall in the western United States is deceiving because Cannibal at Lagoon Park in Utah is 116 degrees, but Defiance isn't claiming to be the steepest, but the steepest freefall. Cannibal has a holding brake and Defiance doesn't, so technicalities. As for the highest elevation thing, it's neat when you take a look at this ride's location. Glenwood Caverns is built on top of a mountain, providing some of the best views of any park in the United States. Maybe the entire world. But yeah, I never understood this whole regional claims like tallest roller coaster in Tennessee or only dive coaster on the West Coast. It does bring about exclusivity, but in the long run, does it really make your attraction more appealing? Food for thought, I guess. Anyways, Defiance, though a shorter ride, looks amazing because of its location. The view from the top of that lift is going to be insane. Plus, the inversions look cool and snappy, so I want to make a visit to Glenwood Caverns, hopefully sooner than later. Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger, located at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, scheduled to open this year, 2022, claiming to have the steepest drop on a dive coaster. Apparently, today is the day for beyond vertical drops, because we have Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger, claiming to be the world's steepest dive coaster. This is another technicality because what kind of coaster is considered a dive coaster? If we were to go with the dive coaster design by B&M, then yes, this is the steepest dive coaster. Dr. Diabolical will be the first ever beyond vertical drop on their dive coaster model. Now with that said, there is Hangtime at Knott's Berry Farm. The park is calling it the first ever dive coaster in the West Coast. The design model is a Gerstlauer Infinity Coaster, and the manufacturer doesn't call any of their models a dive coaster. So Hangtime claiming the title of dive coaster is by the park itself. Anyways, Hangtime, considered a dive coaster by Knott's, features a 96-degree beyond vertical drop, steeper than the 95-degree first drop on Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger. Now, I will give this record to Six Flags because since Gerstlauer doesn't call Hangtime a dive coaster, but an infinity coaster, I say this record is legit, but in the whole scheme of things, still not a super impressive record since we have roller coasters completing beyond vertical drops, steeper than like 110 degrees, well actually up to 121.5 degrees to be exact. Millennium Force, located at Cedar Point, opened in 2000. Alright, let me see if I can say this. The records that they are claiming is tallest coaster ever, fastest coaster ever, longest drop on a coaster ever, steepest non-inversion banked turn ever, first ever coaster to use an elevator lift system, most coasters at one park ever, most rides at one park ever, first ever coaster to top 300 feet, most steel coasters at one park ever, most coaster track at one park ever, and finally, greatest coaster ever. Now, majority of these records being claimed by Cedar Point are legit. It's just the insane amount of records that the park is throwing in your face that makes this hilarious. Now, to the flimsy ones. Apparently Cedar Point doesn't consider Superman Escape from Krypton at Six Flags Magic Mountain to be a roller coaster because, well, since 1997 it was the tallest, fastest, and had the longest drop on a roller coaster. That ride stands 415 feet, features a 328-foot drop, and maxes out at 100 miles per hour. Oh, and it reaches a vertical angle, as Millennium Force is only at 80 degrees. The technicality here is that Millennium Force is a continuous circuit roller coaster and Superman is a shuttle coaster. So yes, Millennium Force holds all those records for a continuous circuit roller coaster. Well, most of them for a few weeks, that is until Steel Dragon 2000 opened up in Japan, becoming the tallest, fastest, and longest continuous circuit roller coaster on the planet. Back to the insane amount of records that Millennium Force is claiming. This turned out to be a trend for Cedar Point. We saw this reaching its crescendo with Steel Vengeance. That ride claims like 20 plus records or something like that. Just beat your audience with as many records as possible, that way they can't fact check every single one. Orion, located at Kings Island, opened in 2020, claiming to be the tallest, fastest, longest Kings Island steel roller coaster. Another statement that is true, but why advertise it? King's Dominion doesn't advertise Intimidator 305 as the tallest, fastest, longest steel coaster at the park, or Steel Force at Dorney Park as the tallest, fastest, and longest Dorney Park roller coaster. No, because that would be silly. Kings Island even has banners flying around inside the park with this statement highlighting the tallest and fastest. Again, this is just deceiving marketing. It's not needed either because Orion has been doing well on its own. Kings Island has seen a noticeable jump in attendance, and those records I'm sure didn't play a pivotal part. Orion is a giant steel structure that can be seen from multiple places throughout the park, plus it's just a great ride, my favorite at Kings Island. Well, that's gonna wrap up another Flimsy Roller Coaster Records video. Tell me what you think about these records in the comments below. Share your favorite flimsy records and maybe it'll make it into the next video, because if there is one thing I can say for certain, flimsy records will continue on forever. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe. That way you continue to get more great content brought to you by Extreme Thrills.